with our live stream tonight on Time Change Night.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
You're supposed to be asleep already, sticker granddaughter.
I wish.
Supposed to put your clocks an hour ahead and go to bed an hour early, so you're not messed up tomorrow. First thing I'm going to talk about is this $300 Beatles memorabilia collection I bought on eBay. Got in this week. I sold 4 items from it already. So when he first listed this about 10 days ago, the seller, antique dealer from California, he put it up at $200 starting bid plus $40 shipping. And I offered him $300, buy it now for a quick sale. And he said, no, you need to let the auction run its course. And I asked him some questions. I said, I saw this at the beginning of one of the scrapbooks. And I said, is there any memorabilia in these scrapbooks? He had 2 scrapbooks in the listing. This was one of them. Yeah, I don't have the other one here. And he says, no, it's just clippings and stuff. But I was intrigued because I saw this on the cover of the first page of one of the scrapbooks. And I did my research, and this was a handbill that was only sent out for the premiere of Hard Day's Night, the very first showing, August 12th of 1964. So I had a hunch there were other things in this scrapbook. Boy, I was right.
George, Music for All Seasons, said, hello, sticker family.
All right, George, Music for All Seasons. I think I saw you on Joe Mayo's stream today talking about 4 Seasons picture sleeves. I thought that was what Joe brought up. So anyway, in the scrapbook was all kinds of Hard Day's Night thing because they went to the premiere, the ticket and the tag, and this magazine that you could only get at the premiere of A Hard Day's Night. I've never seen that magazine before. Souvenir Theater Edition. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but it's a pretty rare magazine. So I started going through these 2 scrapbooks, and there were articles for the Cow Palace at San Francisco, the Oakland newspaper, and advertisements for their albums, Beatles 65. I've never seen that Hard Day's Night promo before for Christmas where they got the little Christmas ornaments as the Beatles. But I knew this was part of it. All the trading cards, 300 trading cards. I already sold the Hard Day's Night trading cards because there was a part of the box that they were sold in retail stores was inside the scrapbook. So it already sold for $99. And this is the painted portrait of the paint by numbers from 1964 kit. That shows you what it looks like. There, paint your own. So they sent out, this was in the box, so you knew what to paint it like. This was already done. And then this was a blank one that they painted in on Paul McCartney. I sold this set for $144. It sold earlier today. And the other 2 things that sold, there was a tag for the portrait. A Frito-Lay tag, so you could get this for $1, was on top of the Frito-Lay package, and it's just a little tag, 6 inch by 6 inch, and I already sold it for $88. So I've already made money. Oh, there was one other thing. There was a Beatles Christmas VJ sleeve. We wish you. You got your. Can you move that just a bit?
What's he?
We wish you a Merry Christmas, a VJ Christmas sleeve that had a Please Please Me record in it, and I already sold it for $122. So anything else I sell on this collection is profit. But the amazing thing Well, we'll get to that in a second. They had all these books, paperback books that I'll put out at my antique toy mall booth tomorrow. This one might be pretty rare though, The Beatles' Real Story. All about the Beatles, Beatles' help, Beatles on a Hard Day's Night. The true story of the Beatles by Billy Shepherd. And you know the rumors about Billy Shepherd, because he's supposedly the guy that became Paul McCartney in 1967. Yeah, see, I'll put that away.
I had to say George's real quick.
Got a question?
George Music for All Seasons said that 300 purchases making you some money. Good for you.
Well, you haven't seen the big thing of it yet. All these magazines were in it and booklets in perfect shape. Portraits, teen pics, Beatles around the world, and a Post magazine with the Beatles on the cover, and a 1968 Look magazine. Put these cards away.
You said love, but you meant life.
And this help book is real tough to find. You could only buy this when you went to the Help movie at the movie theater. And it has a lot of colored pictures inside. So that's another reason I bought it. That's collection. Another magazine. Notice down here it says, wives they hide, girls they want. Feuds, Rolling Stones, Dave Clark 5. When Ringo's Rings. And I showed you the Hard Day's Night stuff. This is what the scrapbook looked like. All kinds of clippings were inside it. And that's what the sellers thought. All it had was clippings. But in the middle of this scrapbook, these two tour programs came with it too, the 65 and the 66. I had already purchased that ticket stub at a online auction from Shea Stadium, so I put it with the 65. But then the 66 program, there were articles in it concerning the concert in San Francisco. This is a real strange one here, because it shows half the seats empty. The Beatles, vacancies under a full moon. Their last show they performed, you can see the armored car waiting by the stage. So all these articles were from the San Francisco newspaper advertising. I thought, well, this person was really into that show. Maybe they went to it. So in the middle of the scrapbook was this envelope from Bank of America. Susan Lyons was the one who put all this collection together. And there you go, the big thing. 2 tickets to see the Beatles, Candlestick Park, on August 29th, 1966, the last show they ever performed. These are both 650 seats, so they had the lower stand box. These were about the most expensive seats you could buy to see the Beatles on the last show. If you've ever watched the YouTube video of the audio of the Beatles on the last show, McCartney's on fire, singing almost all the vocals, and Day Tripper is like early heavy metal. You need to search that out on YouTube. Pretty amazing. So anyway, to find that in the middle of this purchase of a $300 collection was just amazing. And about the same time I found these tickets, I had 2 other tickets for the last show, and they sold within 10 minutes when I found these 2. So the guy that bought them, when I relisted it and had these 2 tickets, he says, "What's going on here? You can't have that many tickets to the last show." And then I had to explain to him how I got a hold of them. So that's a pretty nice memorabilia collection. Shows you can still buy amazing Beatles memorabilia collection on online, or I buy it on eBay.
Can I say something? Everybody like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification.
Yeah, we got almost 12. We got a lot of new 1,277. I think we have, but we don't have enough watch time. And out of the, we only have 38% of you that watch my videos are subscribed, and 62% are not. So if we get more likes, we'll get some more views, and it'll help our YouTube. Our yeah, I don't know how to say it. Algorithm.
Neat stuff there.
All right, this was also in that collection from California. All these things are West Coast picture sleeves with a tab cut. You got yesterday. You got 8 days a week. Everyone's a West Coast version. You got Nowhere Man, Paperback Writer, Ticket to Ride, We Can Work It Out, Help, A Hard Day's Night. It's hard to find all these tab cuts, but this all came from California. All You Need Is Love, Hello, Goodbye. That's in real nice shape. And a rare one, Love Me Do on Tolly. The yellow label. So that's what was in that $300 collection.
Go ahead, do the comments.
John Moreno said, hello, STICKERMANIA.
How you doing, John?
And KRWD said, if you say Al Gore, the rhythm, you have it.
Algorithm.
Yeah.
Algorithm. Al, like the politician.
Algorithm.
Yeah, that's right. Same thing.
I know how to say it.
All right, we talk about holy grails that I got a hold of. There's only a few of them in the last few weeks on eBay, and I think I almost got 4 for $4. First was that Sgt. Pepper Nimbus Super Cup from 1984. But the seller wanted it back so bad he gave me some extra funds, and it got shipped overnight express. He should have got it today. He had terrible regrets of selling that thing, so he has it again. And then this is up on my eBay store for 2 days, and I already have 25 watchers on it. So a lot of people were interested in my Beatle phones. I showed that in the last one, in the last live stream. Somebody messaged me this morning and they said, this is the second set I've seen of these on the internet in the last couple weeks. Was there a warehouse find of them? I said, no, it's the same set. I bought it from Perry Cox. I don't think there's a warehouse find of these cost Beatle phones. $5,900.
Ooh.
Do that one.
KRWD said, I wonder how the headphones sound.
Perry Cox says they work. They're mono phones. They don't play in stereo. But Perry Cox says they're functional. But I think if you were buying these, you wouldn't be using them. But most of the boxes had mono because they didn't want people to get upset that they didn't work in stereo. And most of the boxes have written on there only for mono. But Perry said this is real rare to have a box like this that's not marked.
That one before he does anything else.
Daniel Castillo said, "Did you listen to the Nimbus? And what are your thoughts?"
Did not listen to the Nimbus. I gave him my word to make the deal of returning it. And he threw in extra money for me to return it. Part of the deal was not to play it. This was part of that Beatles memorabilia collection. Before I show her my other holy grail of the Beatles record player. So they had a contest, this teen magazine, and they gave away four of these record players, brand new in 1964. Can you imagine if one of the people that won this had kept it in the box for all these years and never opened it up, and then suddenly put it up for sale, what would it be worth? My guess would be about $25,000.
Wow.
It works, but it has a hum, so I'm going to get it restored here in the next month. But I'm saving it for Rachel Ghost's interview, hopefully next Wednesday, but I haven't gotten in touch with Rachel Ghost about it. Be my 4th interview with Rachel's Ghost. See, I talked about that Holy Grail, and the Nimbus. One more Holy Grail. A Led Zeppelin Holy Grail went off tonight. What do you think a Led Zeppelin Holy Grail is besides a near mint Led Zeppelin 2? I'd say it's a Led Zeppelin first album from England with a turquoise lettering. Led Zeppelin hated that turquoise lettering and they had it changed really quick. But I have one coming. I won in an auction tonight. First press from the United Kingdom, 1969. I won it for $1,920. So Jason Rojas won't be the only one that can show the Led Zeppelin one with a turquoise lettering, or Noble Records. He has one also. You got a question?
John Moreno said 25,000 would buy you a nice high in stereo.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but maybe it'd be high end, but it wouldn't be like what Jimmy Fallon uses, or Tom Port, or Michael Fremer, or Mike from the In-Group. I'd say theirs is all between 100 and 200,000.
That's crazy for a stereo.
Huh?
That's crazy for a stereo.
A couple notes. I think I got a new regular customer, Kimbo. I'm pretty sure it's the one that's on Mazzy's channel, Mazzy's buddy. He bought my 2 sealed CDs, were made in West Germany, Sgt. Pepper and Rubber Soul. All I got left is the Abbey Road, but it's not one of those made in West Germany, but he bought the 2 that were West Germany. Like I said, the Sgt. Pepper is ranked as the 3rd best sounding pressing ever of Sgt. Pepper, behind the Nimbus Supercut and the Audio 5. Got this in yesterday. Excellent condition. I have a hard one to get of I'll Cry Instead. And it sold for $99 the first 10 minutes I listed it on the internet. Real tough sleeve, and it didn't sell very much either. The summer of 1964. Now that's going out in the mail on Monday.
John Moreno said Jimmy Fallon has a 100,000 plus stereo.
He has a 200,000, what they said on the internet. Somebody totaled up all the equipment that he showed in that CBS morning. Said it had to be over 200,000, what he was playing.
Oh my god. That's wicked.
Oh, so I talked about Kimbo. he also bought my Led Zeppelin in-store department promo album, where Led Zeppelin's on one side and Dusty Springfield's on the other side. I've had 2 of those. I don't know if they're pretty rare. I'll probably never have another one again. But Kimbo bought that for $3.99 2 days ago. Talked about the Holy Grails. One more story in my buying on eBay over the years. When I was a rock and roll grocer, 1967’s took me to Indianapolis, and I got to see the Smithereens. And I was with one of the DJs at 97X, and me and Jetson was his name. We had pizza with the drummer and the lead guitarist of, I think his name was Jimmy, of the Smithereens. But they were really good at a Broad Ripple bar, and then a few years later, Pat Nuzio, the lead singer, passed away, and his relatives put his whole Beatle book collection on eBay. And I knew from the Capitol Books, Bruce Spicer, it said to Pat, it said something about the Smithereens and the little signature on the signature page Bruce wrote. And I knew it was Pat Nuzio collection of books, and I bought it. And inside the books were notes from all around when they were traveling all over the world, personal notes from Pat. So I thought that was pretty amazing. The Let It Be videotape I showed the other day, VHS with the watermarks, I knew it was pretty rare. It sold right away for $122. That's a lot for a VHS tape. But it's the only time I've ever seen it was in the shrink with the watermarks. One other note, Paul and Ringo, March 4th in Paris, where they're showing all the videos of them going to Stella's fashion show. Ringo looks a bit older in this new video. Paul still looks about the same. But Ringo's still outgoing, and they were there with their wives, and they show Stella and Mary, and I won't say no more. The Stella looked a little strange is all I'd say. You can read in between the lines there. Don't want to cause any controversy. All right, let's get into some new things. I didn't open this up on the last stream, so let's get that out of the way. Got so carried away, forgot to do all the things I was supposed to do. This is supposed to have the Beatles Anthology promo kit. That's the original box. Open it immediately. The Beatles Anthology sneak preview. Let's see what's in here. Now we're going to show some vintage Beatles memorabilia I just got in. So stay tuned. That's about all of it. That's pretty much it right there. And then the big thing I want at Heritage Auctions.
Yeah, I want to put it on the table.
I don't want that phone. Here we go. There is the promo kit for the Beatles Anthology. The music is half the story. You've seen this before in my videos, but I never had one in the box. Has little tabs. You open it from the top, and it's got the binder in there with all the promo material for the Beatles Anthology. And it's got the sealed VHS sneak preview video in there. Factory sealed. Alright, that's my unboxing for today. It is all there. Alright, let's get this out of the way so I can get it off the table. This is what I won at Heritage Auctions. Made $20-some thousand in bids and only won this one for a little over $700. A factory sealed BC13 from 1980. This is the Australian issue. It has a different, it opens from the top. There's a top lid and it's got the titles of all the albums on the back. A little note on this BC13. Don Bartley mastered 4 of the albums on this. He did the With the Beatles, Beatles for Sale. He did Abbey Road, and he did Sgt. Pepper. If you haven't heard Don Bartley, he's the one that mastered the Audio 5 stereo pressing of Sgt. Pepper. That's worth over $5,000. So that's pretty nice. That's what I won at Heritage Auctions from Dallas, Texas. That's up for on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store for $999. All right. Before I talk about Beatles memorabilia, got these in today. The Beatles rivals in early '64 was a Dave Clark 5. And with bits and pieces and glad all over, they were actually up there with the Beatles for a second, but fell off quickly, especially when they discovered they couldn't perform live on Ed Sullivan. It was all pretty much fake. So Remco made the Dave Clark 5 dolls, and they're pretty rare because I'm sure they didn't sell a whole lot. And then there's the 4 little dolls of the rest of the group. Lenny and Mike and Dennis. And I'm missing the saxophone player's name. Maybe somebody in the peanut gallery will tell me who the other member of the Dave Clark 5 was. So Mike's got a tag and Lenny's got a tag. But Dave Clark, you can tell who was the leader of the band. He controlled it all. Only problem is he wasn't a very good drummer. All right, Beatles memorabilia just got in. Got this today. A 1964 vinyl, made of out of vinyl, a hat box. It's red. I've had this before. The zipper's real fragile. Zipper still works. Now that's what it looked like inside. I don't want to open it too far.
Is that a clown off it?
Now pretty nifty, made by Airflight. 1964. Now, there's a red one made and a black one. Let's zip that back up. Hallelujah.
Cool, I want that.
You like that?
Yep.
1964 Beatles Halloween costume.
What?
It's hard to find this costume without dry rot on the legs and the arms. This one's in nice shape. Doesn't say the size on it. Looks like it was made for a middle-aged boy. But the nice thing about it, I bought this in a separate auction. A near mint George Harrison mask. Still has the strap on it. It has all the hair still on there. Hard to find these with no cuts on the face or on the sides. It's about as nice as Halloween mask as you can get for 1964. And George Harrison, they didn't make as much of him and John Lennon because Paul and Ringo were the most popular. So I'll be putting that up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store tomorrow. One more memorabilia I got today. You got a question?
No.
Brunch bag. This was the girls' version of the 1965 Beatles lunchbox. They made the brunch bag for the girls in Aladdin Industries in Tennessee, not too far from me. Zipper still works on here. I got it full of foam bubbles to keep the shape on it. I put this up for on my eBay store. It already sold. $499 a working handle.
What?
Even has a little price stamp you can see on the bottom where originally sold for $1.99 in the stores.
Who's kids using that?
And a 1965 boys lunchbox thermos came with the brunch bag when I bought it. Got a working cap with no broken glass inside. And pretty nice bottom. Has a little bit of rust on it.
Kimbo sent you a message on eBay. Yes, I'm the one. Thanks, Frank. Love your stuff and your videos.
All right, Kimbo. I thought I had the right one. Say hi to Mazzy for me. I know you see him weekly. So I think Kimbo has a record store in Washington State.
What?
Close to where Mazzy lives. Mine, Kimbo, or he's not on eBay. He's just sent a message through eBay. He might be on watching the video.
He probably is if he's messaging you.
Kimbo, are you gonna sell that Led Zeppelin department in store, or are you gonna keep that for your collection? Because I don't think there's too many of them out there. I think you're gonna keep it.
You get mad when people keep stuff for their collection.
And I wouldn't open those sealed, factory sealed West Germany Beatles CDs either. I think someday they're gonna be worth a lot of money.
How much?
1987, the first issue of CDs. All right, we forgot to talk about.
Kimbo.
What's he say?
Dana Kimberowit.
That's Kimbo.
Kimberokis, whatever. Kimbo said, "Hi Frank, yes I'm on. No, I do not. No, I don't have a store."
He doesn't have a store. Oh, I thought I'd seen him in Mazzy's videos where he does he have a booth at record shows? Is that what he does with his wife? I think that might be what it is.
Do you have a booth?
And then he said,
Keeping the Zeppelin and sealed CDs, thanks.
I thought so. Way to go, Kimbo. All right, we didn't talk about butcher covers last time. I ran out of time. A couple days ago, somebody put a First State butcher cover on eBay for $15,000 in very good condition. It had wear from the sunlight hitting it over the years. And this is my near mint. Graded by Perry Cox of my First State mono butcher cover, a number 3 Scranton East Coast. And this is the one I peeled. Show you the difference of what a First State looks like and one that's been covered.
no, you're not getting both of them. You only get this in the screen. So
You go like this?
Yeah, let me have this and try to.
So you can see where the age has changed this one quite a bit. That purple hue looks a lot stronger than on that First State. And the difference in the width, you can tell where it's been trimmed. The First State's underneath the Third State. They did that for inventory purposes. They trimmed it 3/16 of an inch so they could tell which ones really had the butcher covers underneath. So this is a First State butcher cover. I got 110 watchers on eBay at $19,999. Think it's going to sell before long. especially at Heritage Auctions. They sold a sealed mono that was graded 9. They sold it for $112,000.
Do the Daniel
How,
Better
Daniel Castillo asked, how many butcher covers were burned after Leon mentioned Jesus?
after Lennon.
After Lennon mentioned Jesus, they just mostly meet the Beatles, the early memorabilia, but that was a summer. That could have been the same time somebody had a butcher cover, but I think the butcher cover was so new, I don't think any of them would have been burned and destroyed, but I could be wrong.
John Moreno said the VC community has become a small community. I recognize these names: Kimbo, Mazzy, Josh, Jason Rojas, and Joe Mayo.
Yep. The VC community, and we're the Beatle freaks.
And then the Elvis Cup guy said, hey, Mr. Stickermania, why are you called Mr. Stickermania?
Why am I called Mr. Stickermania? Good question. Let's put this first state. I'm nervous to even touching this. It's worth a lot more than my Nimbus Super Cup. All right, the question is, where did you get your name, Mr. Stickermania? Here's a clue. My Rolling Stones sealed album of Tattoo You. What makes this unique from every other Rolling Stones Tattoo You cover that you can find? It's right there. Hype sticker doubles the value. I used to collect. I used to go to record stores and I'd buy everything I could find with a hype sticker on it. And that's how I got my name, Mr. Stickermania. This is a rare one from 1981. It's got 2 songs on it: Waiting on a Friend and Start Me Up. Hope that answers your question. I showed this in my last one, my mono UK Santanic Majestics Request, and it's sold today for $110. It sounds pretty good in that mono mix, true mono mix from England. He asked me what the dead wax the buyer did, and I told him the dead wax. He said there were 2 different dead waxes on Discogs. He bought it right away after I told him the dead wax. Side 2's got an ARL 8127 PI. All right.
Do that one real quick.
Dano Kimberly.
It's Kimbo.
Kimbo.
Kimbo said, hi, Frank. Did you sell your sealed first press Some Girls?
So Some Girls sold for $199, went out in the mail yesterday. Yay! Some Girls, that band cover, every time I get a sealed one, they don't last long. I think that's a collectible that is more in demand as time goes on. Especially if it's got the hype sticker for Miss You on the cover. I don't have it right now to show you because it's sold. I think I might have one that's opened up.
Wendy Reoaks said,
But I had the one that sold had different colors, and it had the hype sticker for Miss You. This one's opened up though. What'd you say?
Wendy Reoaks said, howdy, Frank.
That's Wendy. That's from the next block over. Remember the Wendy? How you doing, Wendy?
Kimbo said, dang, wanted that.
Well, sorry.
Goes quick.
It goes quick, so especially the Some Girls. They never last long. I'm sure I don't think I have one on purchase history. Can't remember. I might have one coming. I'll give you a heads up, Kimbo, next time I get one.
Pear.
All right, German pressings. We're over a half hour, aren't we?
Yeah, well, 40.
All right, let's get this about 15 more minutes. You got any questions now? Pop them up.
Pop 'em up, pop 'em up.
Okay, we got got this in 2 days ago, 1977, the Apple version of Magical Mystery Tour from Germany. Says an import right there, the label, and it's on Apple, and it's got the A1 B3 Matrix, true stereo all the way, hardly played, excellent condition. Andrew from Polygram Auctions says this is the best sounding audiophile pressing Beatles album that exists in the world. Number one thing, if you got a $200,000 system like Jimmy Fallon, this is one of those albums you need besides the Led Zeppelin 2 Hot Mix Monarch pressing that I sold a few weeks ago for $2,500.
John Moreno said, I want most of those collectibles but can't afford it.
Oh, John. Does John still have a butcher cover I gave him away in our first drawing?
Do you still got that butcher cover, John? From the first drawing?
All right, we got a 1977 Apple pressing of Revolver from Germany. Another one that Andrew from Polygram Auctions says is the best sounding pressing of Revolver that exists in the world. It has an A1, a B1 matrix in the dead wax. It sounds pretty good on my Thorns TD 320 turntable from the 70s that I had restored at Magnetic Tape Recorder here in Louisville.
John Moreno said, of course, that's a keeper.
What is? Oh, it's Butcher?
No. And Daniel Castillo said, Andrew has lost credibility.
Ooh, I said that in my last live stream. The last one he did was all about AI, Beatles, and selling his soundscape or whatever he sells. He just turned it into a... He used to have the best Beatle content ever on the internet, and now he's just trying to make a buck. It's disappointing to me. We're not getting paid anything for doing this, so we're trying.
Your friend Wendy said, you're sporting a mustache, looking good.
My goatee, is that what you call it? Yeah, it's got to get trimmed again. Thanks, Wendy. All right, that was my German pressings. I had a Beatles the other day, last week, and it sold real quick for $199 with the A2B2 Matrix True Stereo. One of the best, one of the top 3 pressings besides that Revolver and Magical Mystery Tour is a Beatles from Germany. The Germans sure knew how to press Beatle albums in the late 70s. They asked for new master tapes. They used a Neumann lathe. They used expensive vinyl. And they used some kind of system. I thought it was an all-tube system with no limiting. And they got the most out of those Beatle recordings. I sold my German press of the White Album with the hype sticker last week. This is a UK Sgt. Pepper Mono 1967. You got that laminated cover with the flaps on the top. Has to say Mono right back here. And it's a PMC. How you know it's a mono pressing. It's got a -1 in the dead wax. One time I had one of these mono pressings from 68, and it had no day in the life on side B. They got banned by the BBC, and so they pressed Beatle Sgt. Pepper's Even though Day in the Life was on the record, it wasn't on the label. The only time I ever seen one, I sold it real quick. Sold it to the man for $388 that bought the my first $7,000 Sergeant Pepper Nimbus Supercut.
John Moreno said, by the way, Pete Best visited Rockaway Records in Los Angeles recently.
Recently, Pete Best did. Wonder if that was a promo thing or what. I'll have to ask Gary Johnson about that. There's one thing about Rockaway Records, and I'm pretty sure it's true, it's appointment only to get in there and look at their store.
What?
Appointment only.
Are you going to get an appointment?
You can check out one of my small short videos I have. I'm behind Wayne Johnson's booth at the Beatles Fest for Chicago. And Gary said, Wayne said, since I peeled some of their butcher covers, why don't you come back behind the counter and do your video? And he was nice enough to let me back there. And then I showed one of the butchers that I peeled for him, and it sold in the auction for $900. I peeled about 20, wasn't it close to 20 butcher covers I peeled for Rockaway Records. I peeled all the East Coast that they had. I tried a couple of their West Coast, and I can't get the West Coast down. One time I did a pretty decent peel, but it might have had the water-based glue, but that strong glue is really tough to peel.
John Moreno clarified it is appointment only.
Yep, I knew it was. One more thing about butcher covers. Remember that real nice butcher cover that I had that wasn't peeled? It almost looked too good to be true, all white.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I showed it in a couple of videos. And I was going to peel it last week when we were going to make a video of me peeling it. But somebody was interested in buying it for $1,888, and I said, well, if this doesn't get sold tonight, I'm peeling it tomorrow. He bought it 5 minutes later, and he says, you can't peel a butcher cover that looks that nice, that second state. You could see that V-neck in his head. You could see Ringo's pant legs. It was beautiful. It was the best second state I'm sure I'll ever have in my lifetime, but it's gone and out in the mail, $1,888. I could have maybe, it's a big risk, but I could have maybe turned it into a $4,000 peeled butcher cover, but you never know how something's been stored when you start peeling those. Every butcher cover is different once you start them. You have to figure out what to do because everyone's been stored differently over the last 56 years. All right, any other questions? Abbey Road, I didn't talk about.
56.
My print of the butcher cover. This is one that has the textured cover. And it's number 44 out of 150. And that's as nice as you can get. Compared to a first state butcher cover, it's even a little bigger than the actual butcher cover. And I had this on, I got it on my eBay store at $377. And a guy offered me $300, and I said, well, I'll sell it at $330 because I have a professional frame box that I can ship this in. And he said $300 was the most he can go. I said, well, maybe next time. If I'm going to ship something professionally shipped, I got to get paid for the shipping. Somebody wanted to buy my McCartney signed Eyes of the Storm the other day for $6,500. And then the deal went bad because I wouldn't give him free shipping. I'm going to send a $6,500 box out priority express for free. Not me.
I do the question.
Okay, Kimball asked, was it mono or stereo?
The butcher cover you sold the second state.
It was a mono, the second state I sold.
Okay, John Moreno said, you don't want to butcher a butcher cover for sure.
But I peeled about 100 of them in my lifetime. But I've peeled at least 5 butcher covers that have been in the factory shrink. I had one that the factory shrink left over from one, but I may not have it anymore.
Do the KR.
KRW2 said is stream an effective method for you for peeling?
Is there what?
Steve.
Oh, is steam an effective method for peeling?
That's how I do it with steam peel 'em. That's what we were going to show on a video. Now I got to get a hold of another one so we can make a video of it. We'll do it. We'll get it done. The only problem, it takes me 2 to 3 hours, and then we got to condense or go fast forward to trim it down to 15, 20 minutes, or just show the highlights.
Yeah.
But we'll get that done. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 70 years old. I need to pass that on, or I'm going to teach Sticker Kid, which is not here tonight. I'm going to teach him how to peel one. He got in trouble for getting a bad grade in math, so hopefully he'll be back next week. Say hi to Sticker Kid.
KRWD said I would keep that property maybe.
What are we talking about? Let me see. Where's it at?
At the bottom, at the bottom, at the
I
bottom.
think she's talking about the steam showing how we peel.
Oh, I would keep that secret.
Proprietary.
Probably, yeah.
I kept it for a secret a long time, but I still think if I show a video of me peeling it fast forward, that's going to be awful hard for somebody to actually figure it out.
It takes practice.
It takes 45 years of practice. People ask me, how do you peel a butcher cover? And my answer always is 45 years of practice.
Okay.
How did the Beatles get to Carnegie Hall? There's 3 answers. Practice, practice, practice.
KRWD said yes, secret. That's what they meant.
Yeah. So this is an Abbey Road first press from the United Kingdom with a laminated cover. Look how sharp that cover is. There's no U.S. cover that would ever look anything like this laminated cover from England. It's thinner, but boy, that laminated and that picture is so sharp. And there's the Volkswagen with 28F. That's what I was going to say about my butcher cover. Even though my boss says I shouldn't say it. We know for sure this is a real Paul McCartney in the middle. That's all I'll say. And there's another Paul McCartney. All right, we got the first pressing of Abbey Road with -2, -1 in the dead wax and the dark green apple. And no Her Majesty listed on the titles on the back, on the side too.
KRWD said, good answer by Lemma.
About practice, practice, practice.
Oh, practice, practice, practice.
And Wendy, your friend Wendy said, why do you peel the cover? Stupid question mark?
Why do I peel them?
Yeah.
Because the middle-aged group, whatever generation that is, 35 to 50, they're willing to pay up for real nice peeled butcher covers.
You don't do it out of love?
Well, I did it first. This is what the 40-year-old entrepreneur wants hanging on the wall with the peeled trunk slick next to it. That is what they want. Perry Cox sold a peeled butcher cover in near mint condition for $7,000 a couple months ago. You can never sell a second state for $7,000. Maybe if it was factory sealed, that'd be the only way.
Price on Abbey Road first pressing.
This is up for sale on my eBay store for $199 in excellent condition. It really sounds terrific.
Oh, I'm buying it.
We got through most everything.
What? Wendy said, well.
Well, how you doing, Wendy?
Well.
I think I showed all my white albums in the last video. This is a early 70s UK side opening pressing of the white album.
Have you been to the UK?
I got a buyer that wants to buy a lot of BC 13s from my 1982 box set. He's already bought the Rubber Soul and the Sgt. Pepper out of this box set. And tomorrow he wants to buy the white album. Oh, this is the Holland. This is the Holland box set that has the best pressing of the white album, according to Andrew, that exists in the world. The white album from made in Holland. All right, any other questions before I wrap this up? What do I got?
Wendy said, awesome, how are you?
Great. I'm glad you checked us out, Wendy. We've got about 500 and what?
Don't go in there.
No, 520 videos up. There's the butcher cover on the rarities promo cover, and you can see the full butcher unairbrushed, and you can see, I thought there were teeth on the ground, but you can't see them on this one. That must be this one here. This is an outtake from the butcher cover, and you can see a pair of false teeth laying on the ground that was airbrushed out. You can see they don't have the same expression on their face. That's an outtake. George is like hiding there. That look good?
Yeah. Do the KRWD.
All right. To wrap up, any more questions?
KRWD said the Swedish box set is supposed to be the second best sounding.
The Holland, yeah, but the Holland was ranked first and Swedish was ranked second.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's the Holland box set there. Has the Please Please Me with a different 100th anniversary, different cover.
Wendy put the loved emoji, and then she said good night.
Good night, Wendy.
And then
Remember, everybody lose an hour of sleep tonight.
John Moreno said, thank you for tonight's show.
Thanks a lot, John Moreno. I'm glad you checked in. I'm glad all of you did. And we'll be on Rachel's Ghost hopefully Wednesday. And we'll do another live stream here on Mr. Sticker Mania a week from now. Everybody get some rest because tomorrow's going to be a little rough with an hour less sleep. Hour less time. Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky, Mr. Sticker Mania, signing off at Sticker Granddaughter. Check us again, same bat time, same bat channel. We got another question.
No, he's just saying how I like how you involve your family.
All right. All right, see you later.
Have a nice night.